It like it's for enough people,
Yeah,
like several people, like a family.
yeah. And he got a hold of the tent, and he built a subfloor and put on, he didn't have enough money for a foundation. So he had just enough blocks, so you could put one every 4 foot or so was a block. With the, and then he spread the subfloor heavy timber over that. Oh yes, we got by pretty skimpy stuff,
And so then you had a tent on the subfloor.
and we put the tent on the subfloor.
And how long were you guys like that?
2 years.
2 years? In Michigan? What about during the winters?
It was cold.
Really? How many of you were there at the time?
Me and my sister and my brother, me and Sis and Dick. I had a brother who was killed.
Yes, I remember that.
Dick and
Probably not.
Bill.
Oh, Bill?
Bill.
When
Bill
would
was
that
a
have
baby.
been? The 30s?
Yeah. Bill was a baby.
So you had no plumbing then, obviously. That's a joke. No heat.
Have you ever seen a hand pump?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen a hand
Yes.
pump?
Yes.
You know, it's like the big ones except they're smaller.
Yes.
We had one of that. That was our plumb. That was a water supply.
What did you do in the winter? Michigan is very cold in the winter, like freezing.
Yes, it is very cold.
Freezing. What did you guys do to stay warm?
Huddled.
Really?
We had what did we have? A fire. We had a fire.
In a tent? Or maybe right outside
Yeah,
the tent?
No, right there at the
What kind of tent was this?
right at the door of the tent.
So you did that for 2 years.
Yeah.
And did you go to school during that time? You couldn't have gone to... Did you go to school?
Yep.
Did other people live like that because
Yeah.
of the way it was? They lived in tents and things like that, half houses.
Surprisingly, most of them were our relatives. We were the rakes, and we were known as the rakes. You know, it's like saying,
You mean there were a lot of rakes in that area?
yeah, there was 3 families lived on lots right next to each other.
Oh, so you lived close by to other relatives.
Yeah.
You went to school. And then what did your dad do for work?
He worked at Campbell and Cannon Foundry Company.
And when were you able, did you build a house eventually, or did you go buy a house?
Yeah. Yeah, well, he worked on $5 at a time. Didn't have a lot of money.
No, I guess not. He was probably feeling lucky to have a job.
He would, payday, he would go buy some more lumber. I remember when he finally got the subfloor built. It was crazy because we didn't have a foundation.
Yeah, how do you build a subfloor with no foundation? Did you eventually lift it and put it on a foundation?
Yes.
Huh.
What we did is we put it on blocks, but it wasn't a complete foundation.
Right. The blocks were missing between the
Yeah.
corner blocks, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Between the main, what you might call like load-bearing blocks or whatever, like
Yeah.
something like that, yeah. Wow. And then he got enough to build the house. You finished building the house.
Oh,
When did you quit school?
when I quit school,
Uh-huh.
Never went to school.
You said you went to school in elementary grades,
Yeah,
but then you quit. You had to quit high school at some point to work
when I was 14.
when you were 14.
Yeah,
And what'd you do then?
worked.
Yeah, but where did you work?
Oh, I worked at Fight Like a Motor Repair.
What is it?
Like electric motor repair.
Electric motor repair. Oh, so that's how you got into engineering, probably.
Well, that wasn't engineering really. That was, I worked for a motor repair company. And I learned to become a electric motor repairman, which was considered to be a pretty good job. And I was pretty good at it.
And then you did that. And then, so that was to help the family then. That's probably why you had to quit, yeah. Was
From
this,
I was 14 to, I don't know, 18 or 20,
and then you went into the Army.
when I was 18.
Yeah, at some point. Wow. Well,
One does what one has to do.
I guess so. I remember you told me one time, because I was fascinated with it, that when you were younger and you lived in the tent,
Yeah.
that you took your lunch in a pail. Which I don't know why that was so fascinating to me, because it's not very different from taking it to any other kind of lunchbox, but you said you took your lunch in a pail and hoped nobody would take it from you.
Well, it was Pip. When I started going to school, I needed a lunchbox. My dad worked in the foundry. And it turned out that his foundry bought white lead in a round pail, about this big around, about that deep. It had a lid on it, you know, fastened on it. Dad brought one of those for each of his kids. I think he paid 20 cents a piece for them or something
Mm-hmm.
from the shop. Those became our lunch buckets.
Sound kind of neat
Our
to me.
lunch buckets.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, I remember that. 'Cause everybody knew who the rake kids were. They were the ones with the lunch, with the
White.
paint pail lunch bucket.
Paint pail lunch. Well, other people, I mean, it was a depressing time. Other people couldn't have been doing much better.
Oh, there are a lot of people had problems. But we were known, our family was the Rakes, and there was two other families. They were cousins of ours. My dad bought a piece of property right next to my Uncle Bud's property, and his was right next to my Uncle Bill's property. So the three Rakes were living right in a row, and we were known as the Rakes.
Do you still have that property? Do they still have it? No.
No, that was back when you could get a piece of property for $5 down, and that's what Dad did.
Yeah.
He bought a piece of property for $5 down.
Hmm.
I think he ended up paying, I don't know, $300 for it or something. I know at the time it seemed to him like an enormous amount of money.
Well,
To me, a kid, you know, I didn't know how much $300 was. It's just.
it just seems like it would be really cold. That's all.
Cold.
In Michigan. I mean, it's not North Carolina, you know. It seems like it would just be really cold.
It was really cold.
Did the neighbors or did your other cousins, did they live in tents as well, or did they have...
No.
They had houses.
Yeah, well, there was an assemblage of things.
Shanties and...
There was cheapos also.
Yeah. Wow.
we lived in a tent. And like one cousin lived in a house that they started to build, and every week my Uncle Bud would buy another piece of sheeting, and so he could put up more wall. And that was, sheeting is the basic structure.
Right.
So every week he would put up another piece of wall. And pretty soon he had walls all the way around. No roof, but walls. And then he bought more 2x4s, and he put up the rafters, and then he put a roof on it. Oh yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Well,